I don't know about you, but I have some cool blueprints for Modern Warfare 2 weapons that I would like to still use and get my money's worth out of them in Modern Warfare 3 as long as I'm not at a disadvantage. So what I've done is I've taken the time to review the new carry forward stats for all 15 MW2 Assault Rifles, and I tried all of them out in game to see which ones are worth using. I'm not going to discuss every AR, that's too much. Instead, I have curated a list of 5 assault rifles that compete with or are better than the new shiny Modern Warfare 3 rifles. After that, I also want to share 2 rifles that you should never touch because carry forward absolutely destroyed their stats. Before we get to those weapons, I want to be transparent with the pros and cons of MW2 versus MW3 weapons in general so you know what to expect when you use them. These can be summarized into 3 traits. The first is that MW2 weapon movement speeds are slower. Mobility isn't painfully slow, but most MW3 weapons are going to have that slight advantage over the MW2 weapons. The second trait is that MW3 attachments tend to be better. Now, MW2 and MW3 weapons have access to a lot of these same attachments. There are some great muzzle and underbarrel options from Modern Warfare 3 that you can update your Modern Warfare 2 loadouts with. But the exclusive MW3 barrels, stocks, and rear grips tend to have better pros and cons balance, giving Modern Warfare 3 weapons a slight advantage. And last but not least, Modern Warfare 2 assault rifles kill faster on average compared to Modern Warfare 3 weapons in close range. However, Modern Warfare 2 damage falls off a lot harsher. Most of the MW2 rifles can compete within 35 meters and they'll feel good in multiplayer, but once you start to stretch the range on larger maps like Derail or in Ground War or Warzone even, you'll start to feel their weakness. The 5 rifles I'm about to share are the exception to that, and they compete in most scenarios. So these aren't in any particular order, but the first assault rifle I want to talk about is the M16. I wanted to start with it because I have a long gameplay with it that you've been watching, and you probably realized by now the M16 is pretty good. The M16 receives several buffs throughout Modern Warfare 2, and then they gave it even more consistent damage in Modern Warfare 3. And it doesn't feel like a hit marker machine like it did in Modern Warfare 2, especially since you expect to get a 2-burst kill unless you're hitting headshots. It's one of the fastest killing weapons in game. It kills 30 milliseconds faster than the DG56, which is kind of its counterpart in Modern Warfare 3, and I found that kill speed difference very noticeable in game. I still think I like the DG56 more because it has less recoil. The M16 is a bit bouncy. Recoil can be corrected with attachments, but its handling will be significantly slower when you do that. This is like a pattern with most Modern Warfare 2 weapons. The mobility is going to be slower, and the handling speeds tend to be slower from attachments. But if the DG56 ever gets nerfed, the M16 will easily be meta and is totally worth checking out. Next up is the M4. This hasn't changed much at all since Modern Warfare 2. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Its damage got botched a little bit in carry forward, but the Season 1 update reverted its damage to a consistent 5, 6, or 7 shot kill anywhere to the body depending on your range. It can kill in 296 milliseconds, which outguns every Modern Warfare 3 assault rifle. At long range, the M4 can outgun half of the Modern Warfare 3 assault rifles. I wasn't really a fan of the M4 a year ago when I was playing Modern Warfare 2 because it had some wonky recoil, and its time to kill wasn't really that impressive. There were plenty of other weapons that were easier to use and killed faster. But with the weapon balance in Modern Warfare 3, the M4 is top tier and much easier to handle since it has access to Modern Warfare 3 attachments. The third AR I think you should check out is the TAC-56. This feels the same, if not even more accurate than it felt in Modern Warfare 2. But there's been one very interesting change. It is now a 5-shot kill at all times. You can land your shots in the chest, in the toes, point blank, 200 meters away. It's going to be a 5-shot kill. The only exception is if you land 4 headshots, but that's going to be really hard to do. So expect a 5-shot kill at all times with this weapon, which I don't think there's ever been an assault rifle that's functioned like that in a Call of Duty game before. It's a very interesting change. The time to kill for the TAC-56 is 384 milliseconds, which is horrible in close to, near mid-range combat, and I wouldn't really recommend using this weapon in small multiplayer maps, but 384 milliseconds is absolutely insane at long range. Plus, this weapon has very little recoil, so it's easy to land your 5 shots. I haven't tried this weapon in Warzone, and it very well actually likely is balanced differently in Warzone, but for multiplayer, if you're playing ground war or like large maps like Afghan, Derail, the TAC is going to absolutely destroy every other assault rifle in this game. On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have the M13B. This has an amazing time to kill up close, beating out all the assault rifles in the game. However, its damage falls off at 35 meters and it loses a lot of its stopping power. So the M13B is really only good at close range, where the TAC is really only good at long range. I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, a lot of the Modern Warfare 2 assault rifles lose stopping power at range. I mean, the same goes for the Chimera, the TR-76 Geist, the FR Avancer kinda too, although the FR has a competitive time to kill at range, but it has much more recoil, so you're not going to be really using it at range effectively. But anyway, the M13B does what all those weapons do and is much more versatile. It has less recoil, so you can use it in all scenarios, even though it will be killing a little bit slower at range. So definitely worth giving a try, especially if you like those sort of weapons and aren't really a fan of the MTZ 5.56 in Modern Warfare 3. The last MW2 assault rifle worth checking out is the AK-74U. But this weapon, they did some interesting stuff to this weapon. I'm not even sure I'd consider this an assault rifle anymore. On paper, the new stats look awful, but in game, the weapon feels great, and I actually ended up getting a swarm with it in my first couple games using it. In terms of damage, the AK-74U is an entirely new gun from what it was in Modern Warfare 2. They tweaked all of its range drop-offs, and they added a 5th range profile up close. So now its max damage range is from 0 to 9 meters instead of 0 to 22 meters like it is in Modern Warfare 2. In Modern Warfare 3, it's a consistent 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 shot kill depending on your range, whereas in Modern Warfare 2, it had consistent shots in the closest and furthest range only. So fundamentally, the AK-74U is a submachine gun now disguised as an assault rifle. I mean, that's how it's always been, but its stats are actually reflecting that. It uses the same damage and range percentages as the submachine guns do. It has SMG level handling. The only AR trait is that it has AR level mobility, so it's not going to be as fast as the other submachine guns. This is a good counterbalance because the AK-74U is outgunning all the Modern Warfare 3 SMGs except for the WSP Swarm and Rival 9 if they're up in your face and not landing limb shots. The 74U also has more assault rifle style recoil, I'll call it, compared to the SMGs, which are a bit more bouncy and harder to use at range. So it's much more versatile than using an SMG if you're looking for like an AR SMG type hybrid weapons. That's truly what this weapon is now. So I'm not entirely sure I'd consider this an assault rifle, but I will say it is still worth using and you should give it a shot and see how you like it. Before we wrap up, real quickly, there are 2 weapons that got destroyed and carry forward, and you should avoid them at all costs. Even if you have like the coolest blueprint on earth for it, I would not use these 2 weapons. The first is the Tempus Razorback. Like the AK-74U, this is an entirely different gun than it was in Modern Warfare 2. It got a new range to break up its max damage. Before it was 29 meters, now it deals max damage up to 13 meters. Outside of 13 meters, it's going to kill slow. It also has way too much recoil. I get tons of hit markers with this weapon, and it doesn't even have especially fast handling speeds or mobility to warrant using it like an SMG, which is what I think they were going for based off its stats. But again, it's not really effective as an SMG and it's not effective as an assault rifle. I would recommend putting the Tempus Razorback in the vault and never touching it again. The other weapon is the Kastov 545. They reverted its stats back to what they were at the launch of Modern Warfare 2 over a year ago. So now its damage is more consistent. It's going to be a 5, 6, or 7 shot kill depending on your range. But that's not a good thing, that's a bad thing. It takes an extra shot to kill up close, making it the slowest killing assault rifle in the game, and it also takes an extra shot to kill at range, making it not the slowest, but one of the slowest killing assault rifles in the game. At least in Modern Warfare 2, before it got buffed, the Kastov 545 stood out in mid to long range combat. It was kind of similar to the TAC 56 in Modern Warfare 3 right now, where it had a little bit of an edge over the other assault rifles. But now, the Kastov 545 is not good at anything. As for the other 8 assault rifles, they're all okay. They're usable, but again, their damage will fall off at range. I wouldn't necessarily be using them over the MW3 guns unless you have a cool blueprint you really want to use, which I do for like the ISO Hemlock, the TR-76 Geist, and the FR Avancer. Every once in a while, I might pull those out, even though I'll be at a slight disadvantage. But that about covers it. There's a much more even playing field than I would have thought between the Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 assault rifles. My question for you is, will you be using Modern Warfare 2 assault rifles now knowing what you know? Or will you just be sticking to Modern Warfare 3 weapons? Leave a comment and let me know. Please don't forget to tap that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed to the channel, especially if you watch this video all the way through. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.